We are Lagostalks 91.3.
Let's talk.
Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, the governor of Kano State. Maybe I put it on record. He may have forgotten. Ganduje had done me a favor before. When Brigadier General Dominic Oneya was governor of Kano State, Ganduje, with all his remaining colleagues, were inherited by Governor Dominic Oneya, because they were all appointed by Kole Wasi, who later died, moving to Jos to go and say sorry to somebody who died. The consequence, the reason and consequences of that accident, I may not ever sit down in any studio all the remaining days of my life to analyze.
Okay.
Because if I go there, it is like setting the country on fire. I was talking with on interview with Chief A.K. Horsfall. Horsfall happened to be the only human being, only one human being in the whole world that have been privileged to be head of security internally and externally. He was in the NSO as head, Director General, and he came to NIA as head, Director General. NIA is to Nigeria what the CIA is to America. NSO is to Nigeria what the FBI is to America. A.K. Horsfall is the only human being that ever had such office, both external and internally. I was talking with him on an interview the other day. Then he said, Godwin, it is not everything I know about this country I will say, because if I say half of what I know, the country will go on fire. So because of that reason, the issue of that accident, the tank built for water that were not meant for water, the accident that first of all happened in Kano that claimed vital lives, I will not discuss that for my lifetime. But when Dominic got there, Dominic met with Abacha, the head of state there, and asked him, sir, this is the people I met. Then Abacha told him, I'm not imposing on you to inherit. No. It is who you want that you take. But I will only give you one name. That man happened to be my classmate, and he's a commissioner there. But Dominic, in his wisdom, decided to inherit all of the, including Ganduje. I think Ganduje was his commissioner for works. So one day I was talking with Dominic. I said, as the land that I was given in Abuja, I don't think I like that one. I want another one. Then he said, okay. Then he said, who do you think will help me? I said, Jerry is there now. I said, Uncle Jerry is there. He will tell me, but God, I gave you one. He said, okay, that the Kano boys are there in that place. So I met him in Abuja. He came, I was in the Kano house in Abuja that morning. He came in with Ganduje. And he told Ganduje, this is my brother I told you about. So please take him. And Ganduje, when the governor left the house, so I entered into Ganduje car. And he first of all took me to the area that the family lived in Abuja there. And he took me to the Federal Capital Territory. Within 4-5 minutes, a piece of land was ready for me already, only to sign the paper. So he's a man who has done me favor in the past. I don't forget favors. Just like the mafia. Everything the mafia locked down. Favor, evil, they locked down. And there's time of payment. So I have no reason to go against Ganduje, because he has done me favor. Favor. I will never forget that. But it is not because he has done me a favor that I will forget to mention alias Gandola, where we saw him packing bundles of. And the first person to defend him was the president, who said, are you sure it was not cloned? And now Jafar, who brought the thing to being, is now running for life. Because
so the police
invited under him. Baba, let's call him Baba. Baba from Giedem. Oh, his village
is still under attack.
He's been sacked. In fact, they're now moving from house to house to preach their Islamic jihadist theory for them, teaching them.
The local government chairman spoke today in one of the papers from Gaydem that there's fire on the mountain.
Okay, God bless him. I don't see this Inspector General of Police of going home quickly to do any Thanksgiving in the Moscow because that's not a place to enter now. But that's not the issue. The police has written that Jafar should come because serious allegations, about 4. Very, very serious. Any one of them could leave this man in prison for the next 21 years.
Right.
But he's receiving phone calls threatening his life. If I were him, I would run. No. I will escape from Nigeria. Probably I will go the way of Ghana. Because most of all those boys who escaped from prison in Imo State, they all landed in Ghana. I don't know why Ghana was the best place for them to go. Okay. Delegiwa killers are known. Government not ready to do anything about it. Slave journalist associate Ekpo said. I agree with him. We all know those who killed Delegiwa. But we all may not know the purpose why Delegiwa was killed. Because of my guest, I don't want to take too much of his time. I will tell listeners, if you want to know about Delegiwa, who killed Delegiwa, please pick a copy of this day newspaper, November 25th, 2015. Because as the death of Delegiwa was approaching 30 years. 2015, it was 29 years when he was laid in 1986. I was approached by different... The Punch wanted me to do it. No, the Vanguard wanted me to do it. This they wanted me to do it. And I made a setter spread for this day. Please read this day newspaper, November 25th, 2015. You will know all the reasons and all the reasons why he was killed and those who killed him. Economist may not have known all the details of the reason because Economist was one of those that the police investigated. Because after the death of Delegiwa, the Economist office was extended. That the Economist secretary now took part of what should have been Delegiwa office. And the police said there would be reasons to interrogate him. He was interrogated. Every person was interrogated. But a driver that was brought to Alagbon by then a deputy superintendent of police, who retired about 2 years ago now as Assistant Inspector General of Police, will tell you the details. So it will not come from me. So you go there. And what again? Insecurity. Publisher. All right. It is time for me now to do the needful. The needful. Whatever time that is left for you, caller, today is what you will maximize. It is not always that I will be so generous giving you 30 minutes, 1 hour. No. But whatever time, you just have to manage it. I have a guest who has been waiting, and it is my responsibility now to bring my brother to the microphone. He has much. He's an economist. He was not dashed. They did not dash him that one. As somebody dashed me. No, I wasn't dashed, but I am the guru, Abi. But by birth, my name is Godwin Itagwebu. But people know me more as Guru today. So he is an economist to the very, 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 very core. Very, very core. He's an economist. I'm talking of, he's a lawyer. He's an economist. He is also a distinguished administrator. I wouldn't want to go round. I'm talking of Barrister Fredrich Okechukwu Nzeako. Is that well pronounced, sir?
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
Now, but he preferred to be called Fred. The speaking language of his name is Fred. He picked masters. I was once told that he is a scholar his economics and everything are within the household of Soludo, the man who reform for us. He is a competent economist to speak about two issues. One, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a Senate that has become more of a liability on Nigerian people than what it's supposed to be, has just approved another 2.6 billion foreign loan request to President Muhammadu Buhari. So I welcome to the microphone my brother Fredrich. Oh, Barrister, let me start. They like that, if you remove it. Barrister Fredrich Okechukwu Nzeako. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, the Guru. Good morning to you. Good morning to Adu. Glad meeting you today.
Yes, you are.
And good morning to the backroom boys. And good morning to our dear listeners. Guru, it's exciting. I mean, those who know me will be wondering, is it not this our friend that we know that this man is introducing to us? And has Fred added more feathers than the ones that we know? Incidentally, Guru is only plucking out the feathers that we are hidden. And I'm so excited being with you,
Thank you very much,
Mr. Godwin Etakebuebu, the Guru of our time.
Thank
you. It's a pleasure listening to you. As a matter of fact, I am not the guest anymore. You are the guest who is dishing out knowledge, historical facts, information, lovely, boldly, very, very boldly, and very truthfully. Godwin, I mean that's the excitement.
Thank you very much.
That you give out these facts and figures, this knowledge, very boldly and very truthfully. Because one of the major challenges we have in Nigeria is lack of truth. Truth seems to have taken a very deep flight, even from the corridors of power.
Yes.
And that is why I print money, I no print money. He print money, he no print money. It's coming from the same government.
Please, can you
The
take
same
your
environment,
analysis from this?
yes, the same government, the same environment,
Let's hear your opinion.
the
sir.
same entity, the same country. It is a huge shame, a gross embarrassment, a colossal ineptitude, and a very terrible lack of respect on Nigerians. To start with, which entity has the authority to print money in Nigeria?
Please tell us, sir.
That authority is Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company.
That's okay.
They print, but central bank issues. When we say printing, it is figuratively speaking that central bank printed money. The actual job of printing is done by the mint.
Okay.
But unfortunately, Godwin, the mint has gone comatose.
The mint
Has gone comatose. That authority, that entity, that establishment that is saddled with responsibility to print money and mint coins and other security instruments has become moribund, more or less.
My God.
And that is why the currency that we use in Nigeria today is printed abroad.
Oh, you mean the currency we use today?
Printed abroad.
Not by the Nigerian
Not in
By
Nigeria.
Security Printing and Minting Company.
Interesting.
Printed abroad. That is the shocker number one, which is a huge shame. Now, in whose authority? Under the seal and authority of the central bank, which is the banker to the government and the banker to the bankers. And that's the only authority that the only establishment that has authority to issue Nigerian currency, and not any other currency. Now, the central bank that has the authority is the one that should tell us whether they printed money. Well, let's use the word printed loosely now.
Okay, loosely.
We have explained the difference between printing and issuing. The issue. So let's lose it loosely now that they have the authority to issue, and when we say print money, that establishment is saying, what is the big deal? That we have authority to print money. And if we have authority to print money, why would anybody begin to find fault with our printing money? Now the question is this: why would this Minister for Finance, the Finance Ministry deals more with fiscal policy issues.
Okay.
The central bank deals more with monetary policy issues. And the issuing of money, printing of money, all lies in the realm of monetary policy. And it does not lie in the realm or the capacity of the finance ministry to begin to make statements about whether money was printed or not. The minister jumped the gun and jumped into fire.
The minister jumped the gun and jumped
into fire.
Has he not carried Nigerians along to that fire now?
He has carried Nigeria. He has carried this government to that fire and embarrassed Nigerians domestically and internationally.
Thank you very much.
By claiming that money was not printed. When CBN governor, the authority, that the establishment that has the authority to print and issue money, is saying, after all, what's the big deal? We did it. And they were supposed to do it. It is not a crime. They are doing it. What Obaseki was saying is the economics behind printing of money. That's all. I felt so scandalized as a Nigerian. I felt so embarrassed as an economist that CBN will begin to deny, that the Minister of Finance will begin to deny.
That nothing like that was done.
It was very embarrassing. There was no need for that. All they needed to do was to explain to Nigerians that all is still well. That yes, we printed, but it is still within our purview and it's still within our capacity to do so, and nothing is wrong with it. And then you explain it so that if there are issues that will engage the eggheads to explain to Nigerians, because government is all about service to the people.
Yes.
So if this is democracy, which is said to be government of the people, for the people, and by the people, government officials have responsibility to explain their policies and programs to the people whom they are serving. So if the governor of a state, as high-ranking personality as Obaseki, who, like by your introduction, which many Nigerians did not know, that is studied classics in his early days. But his whole professional experience has been in finance and economy.
Yes.
So he is deep-rooted in the knowledge of how this thing works. And if he raises a voice and say, look, money was printed, though, Obaseki did not say that to chastise or chide the central bank or to mess the government. Obaseki said that to warn Nigerians. And of course, if you saw the setting, it was a casual setting in his own state.
Yes.
He was trying to tell his people, look, we have to tighten up and cut off unnecessary wastages. Because the picture is gloomy.
You were at the point that Obaseki spoke to his people.
Obaseki spoke to his people, urging them to be more prudent in their consumption, especially of state funds, urging them to be more circumspect with way they try to fritter away state resources, so that they will be able to continue as a government.
Okay.
And he now let the cat out of the bag. But look at even our last federal allocation, Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC meeting in Abuja, that the CBN had to print an extra 60 billion naira to augment. So, if at that level, the CBN, the federal government, which means the entire Nigerian Federation, was having challenge with liquidity, then we must, as a state in Edo, be very frugal.
Because we don't have the facility to print.
So we have to be very careful and manage our resources very well. What else can a governor tell his people? All right? And I want to expect and believe that other governors as well would have such pep talk with their co-managers in their various states. Because the governor is not alone. He has his commissioners, he has his permanent secretaries, directors, and the rest of them that help him to manage the state. And every governor is expected to talk to his people, his his assistants and associates who help him to manage the state, so that they will be very, very careful and very frugal, because the situation is very, very tight. Now, Emefiele has confirmed
Could
that.
you hold it there, please? Hold
Yes.
it for a second.
Yes.
Because it was along the same time
Yes.
that the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai,
Yes.
said it that he cannot, whatever he brought from the sharing of the federal account allocation committee, in fact, from Abuja, pay civil servants who are only just 100,000. That what happened to the remaining 8,900,000 people? For that reason, that he will have to cut those employed, so that the little they are having now, it's almost the same language.
So that tells you that there is fire, real fire on the mountain.
Exact fire, actual fire.
Real fire on the mountain. And the Obaseki said very honest, simple admonition to his people, and they took it out of context. A government that we expected that is either they encourage, at least I expected that at Governor's Forum, as illegitimate as you said that forum is, but at least they should do positive peer review, tell themselves the honest truth in ways and means how to manage the scarce state resources, for them to be able to achieve and carry out responsibilities and duties of the state, and not to go there and be competing among themselves in who amasses higher wealth. The time, the situation, the economic situation in Nigeria is dire and very serious.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred. Hold it there. We shall come back to this trajectory. But first of all, let me take you to the how much?
Whether 2.6 or 2.3 billion
$2.6 billion foreign loan approved again by the Senate.
That tells you
in less than 3 minutes. What's your comment?
The same problem. This is Buhari came back from his medical trip, and when he was asked what Nigerians should expect, he said continuity.
Continuity of what?
Continuity of loans, continuity of bad governance, continuity of lack of security, continuity of lack of employment, continuity of hopelessness, continuity of lack of welfare for the people, continuity of low life expectancy, continuity of perfidy. This is what we are getting in Nigeria. So what continuity are we seeing? Today, $2.6 billion on top of over 32 trillion naira loan.
The debt management office, a friend I had there told me, okay, I told you 32 point, no more. He told me that exactly now we are 33.2 trillion.
33.2 trillion.
Yes.
Debt. What is our budget? Our budget, as at this year's budget, was about 9.8 trillion.
Barely 10 trillion.
Barely 10 trillion, right? And inside that budget, the expectation is over 40%. So, in effect,
what do you call expectation?
You know, budget, when they budget, the expected earnings and actual earnings. All right? Okay. The actual earnings at the end of it, that is why the budget never balances.
Yeah, I want you to explain it.
Yes. That's
why I brought you here.
Yes. When they budget, they say, we expect to earn so and so from oil. We expect to earn so and so from customs and other revenue agencies. FIRS and the rest of them, from taxation and from the rest of them. This is our expectation. From this expectation, we hope to spend this to service so and so debt. Even inside that budget, there is huge debt stock. In which case, there is inbuilt in that budget, large chunk of it to be loan, foreign loan. And then so amount to be used to service the loan, not payment. Nigeria no longer talks about loan payment.
But servicing.
It's servicing that we are not talking about, because we don't even have enough to service, not talk of enough to pay. Yet, we keep taking more and more.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Can it be, is it near true that we spend about 68% of our budget now for servicing of loans?
It is not just near true, it is the truth. Because when you look at the quantum of earnings, not the budget, the earnings, and then you look at what has been spent in loan servicing, you will see that it is close to that.
Okay.
And the terrible aspect of it is that as we now use that money to service loan, we are now left with little. Thereby, we are now compelled to get more loan. That is the terrible loan cycle that Nigeria has found herself.
Okay.
That cycle was broken in 2005, 2006 by President Obasanjo when we exited the international debt.
All those clubs, Paris Club, London Club.
We were giving loan forgiveness, debt forgiveness to the tune of over 18 billion US dollars. Then our debt for stock was about 32 billion, about 32 billion. Meanwhile, between Central Bank, Ministry of Finance, Debt Management Office, they didn't know exactly how much. But at least we exited. We used the money we made then in oil, paid about $12 billion, and we were given pardon of over 18 billion. And we came to ground zero, in which case we had a clean slate to begin to revive our system and run again as a nation. It is out of that, just in 2006, 2007, that between then and today, we had crawled up to 30-something trillion.
The trillions we are now speaking
that
about.
we are talking about, which is over almost 4 times our annual budget as a nation.
Okay. Now, as an economist, please put us right. Is there really an issue with borrowing? Or
whether it is right to borrow?
Or it is right to borrow, or
yes,
our challenge is revenue earning to pay back.
Our challenge.
What is our predicament, sir?
Our predicament is in our productive base. Our major predicament as a country is in our productive base. The productivity of Nigeria has gone so low, so low, that we seem to produce nothing apart from crude oil and other raw materials in terms of solid minerals, that a lot of them are even mined illegally. But at least when you talk about columbite and bauxite and the rest of them that federal government mines, and you look at the crude petroleum, and then you look at agri-productivity that does not add value, our productive capacity has gone so low that we are having problems all over. Now we are borrowing. The question is, because they will very easily, those in government will very easily tell you, no, every country borrows. America has so and so. They begin to reel out the figures in the international community. America has so and so huge trillion debt. Britain has so and so $1 billion pounds. Germany has that every country borrows. Fine. Do you ask yourself, what is the productive capacity of those countries?
As compared to
Nigeria. And what are those loans used for? There must be target for borrowing. There's nothing wrong with taking a loan, but there is everything wrong when you borrow for consumption.
And Nigeria today borrows more for consumption.
For consumption. 90% of our debt profile, our debt stock goes into servicing consumption.
Okay, sir. Hold it there. Let's go back to you print. He did not print. I printed. We did not print. Let's go back.
From the revelation he even gave of the printing company being moribund, and we have to be importing our own money.
Yes. If we want to go there,
that gives you the cost.
If we want to go there, there are too many things wrong with Nigeria. That is why those with understanding and knowledge of what is happening in this country, like Fred, will be very, very careful. That is why I'm very, very, very careful. That's why, for that reason that I quoted Chief A.K. Hobsbawm today, that Godwin, if I should tell 1/10 of what I know about Nigeria, the country will go on fire. I know fire brigade will be able to bring it to normal.
Now the challenge is this.
From the days that Nzeako, that is on trial.
When he resigned.
Yes.
No, what is that?
Is it the former MD of the...
That's good. Okay, please, sir. I'm not here to talk. It is you.
Now, Godwin, what was the import of that printing? We talked about productive base being weak. There is what we call volume of money in an economy.
Okay.
It is that volume of money. The money you have in your bank, the one in your wallet, the one under your pillow, the one you keep elsewhere, all that, when you aggregate them, it is called volume of money in circulation.
Okay.
It has to be a particular level.
Okay.
And what determines that level? Your productivity.
Your productivity
determines
that level. That the volume.
There has to strike a balance. When that money is increasing, without productivity increasing, what it means is that the goods you produce, the goods and services you produce are drying up. That is reducing. And the volume of money in circulation is increasing. That is panacea for inflation. So when we say,
could that be the reason that Nigerian inflation has hit 80 points?
It is increasing. It continues to increase because government is pushing out more money to meet up with their recurrent expenses. Whereas the productive base is not increasing. Therefore, in elementary economics, they say too much money chasing too few goods. When they want to define inflation in elementary school, they will tell you inflation is inflation is defined as a situation where so much money is chasing so few goods. In which case, the volume of money in circulation is higher than the quantum of goods that they are supposed to buy. That is pure inflation. This is an rocket science. And then by the time it goes from stage to stage, you begin to talk about hyperinflation, stagflation. These are all cadres and categories of inflation. But the one we have today, Nigeria has gone even above stagflation.
Wow.
Because our productive base is so low. The population is increasing. These are the causes of the friction you see all over the place. And what is the cause of this low productivity? Lack of energy. Lack of power. Number one is lack of energy. This electric that you see. Number two, very bad government policy. Very bad. Government policy. Forget all this one. Government will say, okay, we provide employment 774,000 jobs for 774 or 770
local governments.
1,000 jobs per local government. Or 774.
Pay the 20.
Where are the jobs today?
And
what are the people going to do? Whatever money that you use to pay those people, they say they will sweep the street, they will do that. Is that productivity?
No.
That's not productivity.
No.
You're only what they're doing is, they're only doing conditional cash transfer. Moving money from bank of the government into the pockets of individuals. That money that is going into the pockets of individuals, what will the money do?
So
what will the money buy?
The 65 billion that was attached to that 174,000.
It will create inflationary push. It will create inflationary push.
Creation of inflationary push.
Yes, because there are no goods that are being produced.
Right.
And more money is coming out to enter people's pocket. What a sane government should do is to create the enabling environment for people to be productive.
Right.
But when these things are not too much, why would we import ruler from China?
No, we imported.
Why would we import toothpick from China? Why would we import eraser?
Hold on. Let me add another
Everything.
one. No, let me add another one. I was invited once, and I went to Tika Island Port, and I saw a vessel that imported kola nut goro from Ivory Coast.
Oh.
The whole hashes loaded with goro.
When the day I saw one container load with burnt brick, I shed tears for this country. Brick. Burnt brick in pieces. I say, what is wrong with our people? So the more you import, the more you create job outside, the more you create unemployment inside. The more you make life difficult for people because population keeps increasing. In 1963, we used to be 6-something million. In 1993 census, we moved up to 90-something million. In 2010, there was supposed to be 2013, there was supposed to be census. There was no census. By World Bank and United Nations estimate, we had gone to 165 million. By today, God willing, we have 205 million people in Nigeria. Where do they feed? The land is not increasing. It is static.
No, Fred,
We have 923,000 kilometers of land.
You've taken me too much into the hard ground of economics that I'm even lost. But let me ask a question. The type that most of my listeners who are my category would ask.
Yes.
While preparing for the 2019 general election,
yes,
the vice president of Nigeria took what they call trader
money. Yes.
He was seen sitting in Dugbe market.
Yeah,
sitting in Alaba market.
Sharing money to market women.
Please, as an economist,
yes,
as that 10,000, has it increased our productivity?
What has he got to do?
No, tell me.
It was just transferring money. It was just mixing politics with economics. Government does not understand the meaning of economics. It is completely distinct from politics. Yes, even though they say that politics drives the economy, that is why there's an intertwine, and we call it political economy. All right? When economics plays with politics, it's called political economy. But when the hard decisions and policies that come from politics affect the economy badly, the whole country becomes negative. The whole economy in the country becomes negative. All that money that the vice president was sharing had nothing to do with productivity, because it's still in the realm of conditional cash transfer. What would the market woman do with 10,000 naira? Nothing.
Afford to pay more.
What will she do with it? 10,000 naira that can barely make 2 pots of soup. She will just go home that weekend and feel good, and that's the end. Whereas that same market woman needed to have tomato from the farm, needed to have rice from the farm, needed to have food, processed food, and non-processed one to feed the family, needed to go to hospital and get drugs that are available and affordable, needed to be treated when she's ill, and the children to go to school. We have gotten our policies and priorities absolutely wrong.
Okay.
And that is the challenge and problem we're having as a nation.
No wonder a good economist must be a successful administrator.
Oh, absolutely.
At what point did we get it this much wrong?
Oh, we recall that in 2013, 2014, Nigeria, it's not politics. Nigeria was the fastest growing economy in Africa. There were policies that were put in place that will ensure that growth. Something like this BVN came on, because the government thought, what do we do to minimize corruption that has been known to be the bane of development? Then the government said, instead of reactionary approach, let us adopt proactive approach. Now, and make it difficult for people to embezzle money. BVN came on board. IPPIS came on board. Integrated personnel and payment platform that was used to cut off ghost workers that were running into millions. And that program was adopted by all the states. So the incidences of ghost workers were minimized. The whole essence is to reduce recurrent expenses of government and increase capital expenses, because the recurrent expenses go to service civil servants and their lifestyle. But the capital expenses is the one that we will use to create employment through provision of infrastructure. For example, rail transportation, inland waterway transportation, build the roads, and then equip the hospitals, build the hospitals and the rest of them. These are all capital projects. But salary, allowances, tea allowance, hardship allowance for the legislature, these are all in the current list. But because the items on the current list get prime attention, because that is one that lines money in the pockets of government officials and civil servants, they underrate the capital budget. When there is shortfall in earnings, it affects the capital expenses. But it never affects the recurrent. And when government now says, I will downsize, we will shed load, then those who, the people who benefit from that status quo will go and urge labor to go on strike, as if labor meant well. That was why Steve Orosanye committee report never saw the light of the day up to today. There are over 400 agencies of government that are drawing money from the state
And
force
he recommended collapsing.
that are not necessary. And why wouldn't a government that wants Nigeria to survive think in that direction and collapse them? Collapsing them does not mean that people will lose jobs.
No.
People will be more efficiently employed and redeployed. That is what we expected this government to do when they said they were coming with a change.
Okay, Fred. We cannot go further until I'm able to extract something from you.
Yes.
Do I have your permission on your own authority that 2 weeks from today you will come with me to this studio?
God willing, we will do that.
Oh, thank you very, very much.
Do
Press
that.
my bell.
We'll do
Let
that.
me ring my bell for...
God willing, we will do that.
Ring my bell for you today.
By His grace, we will do that.
We need, because next Monday,
Yes.
I am bringing a lecturer of law from University of Lagos. Very, very senior, seasoned lecturer of law. Is a senior advocate of Nigeria, because we want to look at the some of the
legal issues.
The legal cases.
Yes.
That Nigeria will turn back to deliberately in order to move the country forward. Now, therefore, the last question I will ask you now, you are not running away, God.
Yes, I'm here.
And thank you very much, Adu, that you've given me a few minutes into the after 11, in view of what happened. Thank you for your generosity. I can always count on your blessings of generosity. So, the last question, after this question, you will sit down. I will open my lines. People will call in. They will ask you questions.
Yes.
So, when the Minister of Defense, Magaji, said Nigeria is bleeding, when Okowa said Nigeria is facing tougher time, if care is not taken, it's almost finished financially, are they saying the truth, the reality of our times?
Absolutely. They have not even said enough.
They have not said enough.
They have not said enough. Magaji, Defense Minister, spoke from his perspective of defense and security. And he has looked into the crystal ball and came out with a verdict that Nigeria is going. Okowa spoke from his perspective as a governor of a state who has responsibility to execute policies and programs of his own state. And he has looked deep into the issues and said Nigeria is bleeding. Every other person, Godwin Emefiele, the central bank governor, has said, he said, look, that he cannot pretend, and we should stop pretending that all, and believing that all is well, that all is not well, and that Nigeria is in dire strait. Look, north, west, east, south, everywhere in Nigeria, you will see despondency. You will see hopelessness. And the terrible thing is that the government is not making efforts at bringing hope to the situation. That is the challenge. Government is not making effort at all. If government was making effort, then the level of despondency would have been assuaged, minimized. But the way things are going in Nigeria, it is as if Nigeria is on a free fall. A country that is rudderless like a ship without a captain.
I will ask you one last question.
Yes.
Please don't give me the answer. Keep the answer to next 2 weeks where you come. Shall Nigeria survive all these accumulated
shenanigans,
self-induced, self-inflicted? Shall Nigeria survive? Shall Nigeria survive? Shall Nigeria survive?
I will tell you.
Fred,
I will tell you in 2 weeks'
hold
time.
your thoughts next week. Sit down.
Thank you.
Please.
It's 2 weeks, not a long time to hold a thought. Numbers to call 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913, and of course 015150-913 and 015151-913. Our WhatsApp line is back online, so you can go ahead and send us messages there. We'll be more than glad to hear from you. Okay, please turn off your radio when you're calling us. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing today?
Yes, sir. My name is Dominic. I'm calling from Surrey.
All right, Dominic, go ahead, please.
That is, with due respect, how do you relate this Nigeria problem with creating of states? We have issues. Thank you.
Creating of which state?
I didn't get that.
Okay, I think he was trying to talk about the issue of state creation.
Is it possible? Because you may not be answering all the
No,
questions.
I'll jot it down.
Oh, you have
Yes,
already?
yes,
God
I jot
bless
it down.
you.
Yes.
I'm going to borrow you my inexpensive Bible.
I jot it down.
Go ahead.
Yes, please. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good morning to you. What's your name, please? Where are you calling
Good
from?
morning. This is Okangolina.
Yeah, but please remember just a minute, please.
And sir.
Yes, sir.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
In fact, you are an encyclopedia. I wanted to go to somewhere, but because of you, I just remember my radio.
Thank you.
I hope you will be coming here very often.
By God's grace,
Thank you very much, sir.
I will. Thank you, my brother.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, please.
This is John from Ibeju.
A minute. You have
Yes.
a minute.
John from Ibeju Lekki.
Yes, you have a minute, please, John. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. You see, I like your analyst. Good, thank you for bringing such a man.
Thank you.
And I think he is a professional in his own field. Then, looking at Nigeria, you see people who have no idea of anything, who are novice. They are in the helm of affairs. And so that is why they lack direction and, where to go. And you see, Guru, let me just answer that question before the 2 weeks. Nigeria will not survive looking at the way things is going.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, good morning, Adu.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Francis calling from VI. Good morning, Daddy Guru.
All right.
Salute you. 1 minute.
Yeah,
Be fast.
Yeah, Mr. Fred, good morning, sir.
Morning, bro.
Yeah, sir. My own quick question I want to ask is why is it that people of this high level profile and high level knowledge, like your guests, what can they do to get this country back from who knows nothing about the governing notion?
It's a
Good morning.
question. Okay, you will get your answer.
Hello? Sorry. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Prince YS.
Thank you.
Yes.
Morning to you.
Morning, Prince.
And Guru, how are you?
Very great. Please go ahead. You just have a minute, please.
I will tell you 30 seconds.
Thank you.
During the governor, after the governor spoke, I didn't just highly react to the governor.
Oh, sorry, Prince. Your line was not clear. Apologies for that. Let's go over quickly to Twitter now. Omo West on Twitter says, good morning, Adu and Guru. So it has gotten this worse to the country that we are importing our own currency and we want the nation to be better. It says, is the country not dead, or the Guru?
Are you asking me? I should ask you.
Adewega says, I hope the sudden interruption in the studio wasn't the handiwork of those that don't want Nigerians to listen to the truth. Because some of their agents are listening, and such hasn't occurred in Adu and the Guru's show before. He says, who will save Nigeria?
We'll pray against them.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh, that I'm lucky.
Yes.
Daddy Guru, good morning, sir. This is Tony speaking.
Good morning. Tunde.
Please, you have a
And
minute.
our guest in the studio. I greet you, sir.
I greet you, Tunde.
My first question to Daddy Guru is that why is it difficult for Mr. President, I'm talking of Buhari, to replace Seugaba and Pantami that we are talking about? Why is it difficult that he cannot replace them? Then the second question to our guest, sir. Please, what can we do at this stage? Because I am ready to do anything that will make sure that this country is being put in a rightful position. Because I am tired and sick with the situation we find ourselves now. What can we do, sir, now? Especially we youth, that we are listening to this program.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's only Buhari that could answer that question. Buhari is not known as doing that.
I think Mr. Fred can go ahead to answer some of his questions now.
Yes, very quickly. Let's. Dominic talked about the issue of state creation because it was mooted by some proponents that they need to create state, and any right-thinking person can tell Nigerians that we can't even think of state creation now. Instead, we should be thinking of how to merge,
How to collapse.
how to merge the states. And that is why when we talk about restructuring, part of the restructuring paradigm that we propagate at the Movement for Nigerian Restructuring is that we must use the current six geopolitical zones and turn them to administrative zones. The geopolitical zones are there, but they're not yet recognized in the Constitution.
No,
but they are there for administrative convenience.
Yes.
Why not we tinker with our Constitution, collapse the states into zones, and make the 6 zones the components of the federation called Nigeria, and then allow each zone to administer itself? Because, one, it will shrink the 36 state bureaucracy into only 6. Instead of having 36 governors, we have only 6 governors. 36 houses of assembly, we have only 6. And that way, the recorded expenses in the budget profile will come down so low that when you do a budget of 100%, 20% or 30% maximum will be for the current, and 70-80% will be for capital expenses. We can now begin to invest and build infrastructure in this country. The way we are going by the other person that asked question whether Nigeria will survive or not, I told you we'll give the holistic answer in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
But in order to whatever we need to do, we need to think about restructuring of this country, because that will answer the issue of state creation. Nobody should begin to think about creation of state. As we speak, all the local governments are not functioning. The 774 local government minus Bakassi that have been seeded. Now, I don't know why we say return 774. When we go to share money at FAC, is it 774 that is shared? About 2 local governments in Cross River have been seeded through the Green Tree Agreement to Cameroon. So, we are talking about 772 local governments. The 772 are not functioning. None is functioning. Not even one. Because there is no democracy at the local government level.
There is none.
There is no democracy at the local government. That's a story for another day, because of the clip of the local government system by the state governors using Section 7 of the Constitution by creating state and local government joint account. All the local government in every part of this country are in the pockets of the governors.
Yes.
Across board.
Yes.
Now, if the local government system is not working, and you can be thinking of creating more states, because virtually all the states are not sustainable under the current sharing formula, where about 52% goes to federal government under the sharing formula, and 20% goes to state and local government. So, if we want to increase the allocation of the states, it is not even the issue of sharing. Because that sharing has been identified as a lazy man's approach to resource management.
Yes.
You all gather in Abuja, you share money, you come down, you filter the money, you wait for another day. And that is why the $2.1 billion loan given to all the states have not been paid back to federal government. And Emefiele started attacking Obaseki. He said, look, you are accusing us that we printed money. That you have not paid us the one that we lent to you.
And even the 2.6 billion they're saying is for COVID relief.
You say that a lot of it will go to states.
Even there was money borrowed there when they told us that we make nothing.
They said
only Lagos state government did not take all of them.
Almost every state.
Let's read some more messages. Oh, God. Adebayo from Lagos says, good morning, Guru and Adu. On the current insecurity ravaging the nation and the killings of innocent Nigerians by terrorists called bandits, and the stand of the president on Pantami, is it not a clear pointer that the man at the helm of affairs is not in control and has no clear-cut approach of solving them? Human lives are more valuable. Human lives are no more valuable anymore, and the government is too complacent in this ugly incidents.
A country that has large human resources should thank God
Like what China?
Like what China did. And what the country should do is to leverage on the human capital and then become a giant. Nigeria has smart human resources. Very smart. But what is Nigeria doing with it? They are being killed and decimated one by one, kidnapping of all the students from secondary, primary, now it is university.
Yes.
All right? They are kidnapped, they are terrorized. Instead of doing everything to leverage on our human capital resource, develop our human capital, and export our human capital to the rest of the world, and end foreign exchange from human capital export.
Okay, hold it there.
One more message before we go to the phone line.
One more message, then one call.
And I will...
and then I will call it a quit for today.
Chike from Akute says, good morning. Government spurred this Frankenstein monster called terrorism with their lust for power. Is now consuming the nation. They pamper criminals, protect those who can help smoke out deviants from their dens, and the fight with the hirelings has been compromised by he called them a certain name I would not.
No, we must not. Please pick one more call.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name, please?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm a new caller.
Okay, what's your name?
First time of calling?
First time of calling, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Augustine. I'm calling from Imoshe.
Hold it there. Let me celebrate you. A new caller. You are welcome.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
Yeah,
you are welcome. Just a minute.
I'm a listener of your program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, my question is this. What can Nigeria do? Are we going to watch this trend of situation in Nigeria? The human rights are there. The intellectuals are there. Are we going to watch this situation to continue like this without taking any physical action again to make sure that this trend are stopped through the appealing to the House of Assembly to protest against it, to let them know that this is situation cannot continue like this.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate
All
you.
right.
We want to thank all our listeners that have been able, and again an apology for that time that collapsed. Of course, we never originated it. It originated from the Nigerian system. And somebody suggested that how we show that those who want to sabotage our effort here are the one behind it. But for the restoration came. So thank you very much for keeping it with us. Fred, I'm especially very, very grateful. And I want to thank you. Please give my regards to your friend Charles Kalu.
Many thanks.
And of course, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I have one of the most top INEC hierarchy man for that 2 weeks. But as he's hearing me, you know that I have set his time aside. That will be next week. Will be third or so. First week of May. The Professor Bogu is coming here. Then 10th of May will be the second week. You are coming back.
No problem.
And I can assure you that the very moment you come here, I will deal with less than 2 subjects so that you can have the floor. So again, thank you very, very much for coming. Then the 4th week that follow, then it will be the turn of the INEC to come. Then on the 24th, that is the second to the last Monday of May, the chairman of EFCC will be here with us, Abdul Rashid Bawa.
You have your hands full.
Oh yeah, no, I have things already till November.
That is good. That is good. That is why you are the guru.
Including the controller of the cost of the Nigerian
Immigration Service.
Immigration Service. So I thank everyone. I thank you. Boys, as my guests refer to you, boys, I thank you for doing very, very
The gentleman of the production team.
Yes, yes. Even as I'm looking at the voice, the style of their beards is threatening me. I wouldn't know why I should not. I think I should be able to grow beard overnight so that I can keep the face with all of you. And of course, my Twitter, you want to meet me there at Godwin_Buebu, at Godwin_Buebu. Of course, then Facebook, Godwin Itakibuebu. Then there's a page I created Facebook for matters like this. It's called Vetra Column. Vetra Column. The V of the Vetra is capital letter. The C of the column is capital letter. Of course, visit my website because there were things uploaded into that website that has to do with all this discussion we are going on there. The topic of the last uploaded there last night at about 1 a.m. says Nigeria is gone. So go and read it and catch the details. And I think that is much for today. Oh, of course. You have the privilege to watch what we are doing here now on our YouTube channel.
Yes, Lagostalks 913 on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. So we are not missing out. So go back there, and whenever you go there, subscribe, comment, like, share. That's the way for you to help us moving the ministry forward in the words of God
to the permanent side.
To the permanent side. So until Monday, when I shall come your way again, of course, I'll be with you tomorrow and Wednesday for the Money Digest. One advice I would always give is keep yourself out of trouble. Bye-bye.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.